speaking about tenacity, and you mentioned being in, the den right after the course, and cutting teeth, in terms of how the market shifted. And then the 3M challenge was born. Tell us, what was it for you? I mean, you talk about the accountability of being in the den, not only, through indirect implication from, friends, family, but the den was a place of community. It helped with that accountability. It helped with people sharing what percentages and you keeping on trying. And then 3M came along. So tell us, what was it for you that really drew you to the 3M challenge?
I don't know how to explain this. It's almost a gut feeling. It's almost something that you know that you have to do. And when I backtrack through my Hodlnots journey onto the den just before the 3M, was I making money? Yes, I was making a few rand, but I always knew that I could do better, and I was missing a link. There was just something that wasn't gelling, is maybe the word. It was just something that wasn't there. You make a few rand and your balance increases and that, but how are you going to live off $100 a month? You can't do that. And I was always sitting with this idea, what's wrong here? How, did I overthink this? Was my expectations different? Was I expecting things that are not there? Then I got introduced to the possibilities of the realm of 3M. And when that thing came along, I just knew I had to do it. And again, at that time, I didn't have the money to do it. To be honest, I didn't know how I was going to do it, because you're committing to something. And for me, it was a serious commitment, not just financially, but in terms of the situation that I was sitting with my family and my friends saying, really, Graham? And that was a tough decision, but I knew in myself I had to do this. And again, I stuck my head down, I put my head on a block like I am tonight, and I faced the challenge and I took the 3M.
Can you think back to, because that was back in July of 2022.
Yeah.
Can you think back then as to what was authentically your why? The reason why you wanted to do this? There might have been a number of them, because through this conversation, and through our journeys, our experience of things and our perception on things does evolve. So can you think back to then, if you're as honest as you can be with yourself, like what was your why for doing this?
I think if one digs deep, I realized that through the changes that we went through with the COVID pandemic, etc., is I'm at retirement age and I've got to rebuild my life, and I'm going to need as much help as possible. Whether or not my family comes on board, whether or not, that's not guaranteed, but what I do know is I have to rebuild my life. And that was the thing that drove me to do this. Obviously, there comes the element of proving people wrong, making them eat their words. And I'm telling you, they're eating their words in chunks now.
I think it's important for everyone to realize that through whatever journey, how we see something initially will eventually change. And I think it's important to constantly look at that and to reevaluate things during time. I believe that you kept a journal through at least the 3M challenge side of things. When did you start journaling, Graham?
Well, it's an interesting story, actually. I was just paging through it today. When I started Yellow, I started with the perception of where we left off after the course. The market was great. Graham, you've done the course. Of course, you experienced. Let's have a look at it. If I can move a dot a month or a complete dot a month, 6 months tops, I'll be there. No problem. See you in the cave. You're right. I struggled. I struggled those first time. And you get things that go wrong that you just can't imagine. Just thinking offhand now, I remember I was trading, I think it was GNO or GTO on Binance when Binance was going crazy. And right now I trade on an iMac. Now, an iMac, for those that don't know, have a mouse. It looks like this. It's got no batteries, it's got nothing. It charges off the system. For some other reason, my mouse died. I didn't check that I had enough battery in it. At the point when I was going to exit, it dropped like a rock. Now, fortunately for me, I was in profit. I already had reserve built, but that single action could have reset me. That's how badly it dropped. Lesson learned, keep your mouse charged, So I was at a point where it wasn't working for me. And I remembered saying to Lisa, I can't understand why I can't get going. I've almost got the knowledge. I've done the course. Oh man, this should be second nature for me. And on a day, like your wife does sometimes, she instructs you to clean out a closet, or she instructs you to clean out a room or whatever they have. And being the abiding husband that I am, I did it. My wife grew up on the farm. She comes from a farming background, so she can swing a good right hook there, so I might just obliged and I did it, and I was unpacking some of my books, and in that book I pulled out literature where I met up with one of my mentors in my earlier days. His name was Jim Rohn. I sort of opened it and I read it, and the very first page of my notes I wrote something that he said to me, the very first thing. He said to me, work harder on yourself than what you work on your job. And for that minute, it kind of hit me square between the eyes. And the second thing that was there was, when you're facing trouble, you cannot see clearly in troubled waters. You need to get the water calm to be able to see. So get the problem out of your head onto paper. And that's where the journaling journey started. And that was a game changer.